Hello, everyone. Looks like we're live.
You're not talking into the mic.
Oh, hold on. I can't see my mouse outside this thing. That's really
We are
Is that
live
you?
for sure.
okay.
Yep, we're live. And we got a black background.
I just want to see the other thing. We're going to be super small, Travis. Maybe I should use a fancy shortcut.
Well, hello,
There
Internet.
you go.
I will,
There you go.
I'll have my own bantering while we wait. Oh, and there we go.
There we go. I think.
Maybe.
The screen might be delayed.
Yep, there it is. We're ready.
It does. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Depending on where you are in the world and how you're joining us.
Most likely good afternoon. Yeah, we could have some people calling in from Hawaii. That's possible, right?
Yeah. You know,
Got some clients out there.
right at the international date line.
There we go. Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Al Urok. This is Travis Gear with me,
Hello.
the co-hosts of the Seleucers Hour of Power, coming to you live.
Sounds nice.
Live. It does sound good?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
it does.
pleasant. This is what the other folks do for their podcast. Oh, wow. Wow.
Like we're
I
on
could
the
really-
radio.
I could really get up my radio voice and spin some records. I can't do that for very long.
You can also
Become
really
full of myself real
here's
quick.
someone drink.
All right, well, welcome to the Hour of Power, and we're here to answer any questions that you might have. We don't have any right now. You can ask them anytime you'd like. Go to seleuciosoftware.com/power and submit your question.
That's what I
We
get
didn't send out a
for
reminder
being funny.
earlier today, so
It's true.
I guess there's that. So
You're all checking to see them.
anybody that happened to be on our thing. But we have 5. Oh, shoot. We have 5 viewers, but probably all of them are inside the building. Is
yeah,
usually how
that's
it
typically
works.
the case.
So hello out there. If there's anybody that wants to ask any questions,
No.
no.
If you're in the building, you're not allowed to ask questions.
You better have an alias of some sort.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's a no-go.
Right, and Al won't know because I'm the one screening the questions.
Well, it's been a busy week here at Seleucio. We brought on 2 new employees. Very excited about them, Grace and Aiden. And, expanding out Travis's team. And, things have
So
been
they
hopping.
start on Tuesday. So
Started on Tuesday.
working on them, getting them trained up.
Had a very nice meal together. And then, I'm still trying to hire somebody on my team, the BS team, Build and Support, aptly named. So if you know somebody out there that is interested in, being part of the team, we are in need of one more seat. That'll put us at 16, I think. So
Yep.
16 total Seleucians. Do we have an official name of our people like
Those that
Googlers?
that work at Seleucio.
Seleucians.
You know me. That's
Salutalians.
yeah. That's
The Seleucers. Something.
those that work at Seleucio. It's all about how you say it, really. The name is secondary versus the pronunciation.
Singular name,
The emphasis
like a
around the
title of sorts. A singular, it's got
title.
a singular entity, or maybe 2 words, but it's got to be clever.
it's a lot of requirements.
It's just 2. Really just 1. So 15 of us doing our thing, continuing to grow. A lot of stuff been happening. A lot of sites being built.
Yeah.
Lots of sponsorships are being sold. So it's a happening time for us.
Good. Yeah.
But apparently nobody had, and we're doing such a great job of training people that they don't have questions.
Dang it. Man, last time we had a bunch that came right after the...
Well, we put out a reminder, remember?
But even before, we had some that came in.
That's fair. We did.
So,
It was a curious time for people.
but, yes, we
A
probably
lot of questions.
learned our lesson here.
They learned their lesson.
Oh, that's
I'm not going to do that
possible.
again.
Although we did not get this question in time,
Oh,
and I sent an email follow-up anyways
Oh, you
to
did.
this individual. But Father John Lanzarth a priest of our diocese here in Wichita. He's the pastor of St. John, the apostle in El Dorado, Kansas.
Awesome.
He is awesome. He is also a big Chiefs fan. And so he, I keep looking at that camera up there. There's too many cameras. All right, sorry. And so he asked the question, will the Chiefs run it back? So
what's that even mean? What do you mean?
To run it back, it means will they repeat as world champions? So at the time, I thought, no question, right? Like, yeah, Father Lansworth. What else would they do? And then Sunday happened, and
with the Raiders, the
Raiders,
Las Vegas Raiders.
Here, let me see exactly what I told Father Lansworth. Dang, I'm funny. Dearest Reverend Lansworth, as to your question that you submitted yesterday regarding whether or not our beloved Chiefs will run it back, and then all caps, hell yes they will. But then yesterday happened, or Sunday happened. Anyhow,
is it a full season? Is it all the games?
I mean, that's the plan.
They just didn't have preseason.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And they basically planned for. I mean, based on my knowledge, so. Commissioner Goodell, if you're watching this. Father Coulter has a real question. Commissioner Goodell, if you're watching, feel free to correct me. But so they have a plan for so normally there's 17 weeks in the season with one bye. So they've planned for an 18th and 19th week in the event that they have to postpone and reschedule games.
Gotcha.
It's interesting because really an unintended consequence of this is some really jacked up fantasy football. So, anyways,
feel so bad.
There are people that I'm sure.
Boy, that would be
right because you've got guys.
What's the rule? If they skip a game,
they just got
those players don't get played.
Right. Wow. So it's already messed with some teams. I'm sure.
Man, I'm really glad I put so much effort in my team that I haven't.
Are you even updating it? Oh man, I'm so glad I don't play with you. I mean, I don't expect people to be fully on top of it,
dude. I didn't make it to the draft. I auto drafted, and then somebody gave me like a super hard time, Jacob, for like 2 weeks about he wanted one of my running backs or whatever, and I'm like he had some extra quarterbacks. I haven't logged in once. I logged in, found my login in ESPN to join the league,
right?
And that is the last time I've looked at it. I think I won a game. I could have won them all. I don't know, but at least I won one.
Don't fantasy football like Al.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I got 9 kids. I don't have
You fell to the peer pressure
to join the league.
Mm-hmm. See, I didn't.
I always have good intentions, as I think most of us do. Oh yeah, that sounds like fun, and I don't really do the football that much, but it helped me kind of get into it and get some favorite players every year.
Yeah,
I fall into the same trap.
Yeah, I made the rule. 1 year I did 3 leagues. And it was just it consumed.
It's only as much work as you want to be. If you don't want any work like me, it doesn't require any work.
But I know, but that makes. I mean, the other players. You don't care, but
no, not really.
But
they should like it. It'd be like sweet. It's gonna be an easy win versus Al. Well, all of his teams are on bye, and
it doesn't always work out that way.
That's as good as I've done. Is I've swapped out players when they're on bye. I was like, I don't know who to play.
Yeah, that's good. That's better than most. Yeah.
Couldn't there be an algorithm or ESPN could have a service that basically they just when you have a guy that's out or injured or whatever, and they swap him out for you?
I think they might. You'd have to figure it out though. I don't know.
I'm not that interested.
All right, we should talk to Father Coulter. He's at least paying attention to us for a little while.
There you go. All right.
Well, you don't even need me to.
I don't even need you. I can just a great
leave.
Statement. There we go. All right. So first question: do you have any updates of registration platforms you suggest beyond Google Forms? Well, yes,
we do.
I think we could say that. I don't know if we talked about it during this thing or not, but so for probably the past 4 or 5 years, we've used Jotform, Jotform, Jotform.com. for registration processes. Because Google Forms, okay, so just a little bit of background for those that might be watching. Google Forms is a free tool available out there. It's not super flexible, but it's very functional and consistent. It works well, right?
And
so
Google, I would say it has become significantly more flexible.
And since we've been using it kind of since the beginning, looking for a platform thing. I remember when we first started the company, we needed to create a registration form for, I don't know, Catholic Charities or something.
Probably in Dodge.
It could have been. I think it was
They
for
would have
Wichita.
been our first.
Because, well, we didn't do it. But I remember basically Andy, the other partner, he had to estimate it, and it was like a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, forms are expensive.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, because there's ton of work involved. And so not too long after that, we discovered upon
FormStack.
Probably FormStack, yeah.
That was our
so
first.
FormStack is a good platform. But JotForm is a good. It's been really good. So JotForm, so Google Forms is great. Just regular utility. It doesn't have a lot of. I mean, it's got some bells and whistles, but not a lot of them. JotForm is more of a complete solution, all the way down to doing online forms with payment and things like that.
Yep.
That it does very well. It can do logic around forms, like doing things with if this field is selected, then do these things. It can do additive stuff. I've done it. I did for Engaged Encounter. I created a form where people filled out. There's this thing that we do called the love languages, where you fill out how you feel loved, right? So, and you and your future spouse fill it out, and then it gives you a score of different ways that you receive love the best, I guess is how you'd put it. And so anyway, basically, yeah, this allowed me to actually I did some binary thing in order, I don't know, long story short, it's how I had to get it added up. But anyway, it had a ton of programming logic that I could play around with. And there's probably an easier way to do it, but that's the way I thought about doing it. Anyway, at the end of the day, it would output you a score and say, this is your love language. So it allows for a lot of different formulas and different things like that. It allows for payment, so there's security around that. And it also integrates better with the websites as well. So there's a so a lot of times with forms, you embed an iframe. The downside of that is once the form's submitted, it doesn't do a page refresh. So if it's a long form, right, and people scroll down the form and they get down to the bottom of the form and they hit submit, the form might have an update for them, success, you did it, but you're still further down the page and you can't see the message that the form gave you at the top of the page. So I don't know if it still does it on Google Forms. I would guess it does, just because that's kind of the nature of a Google form since it's in an iframe. But so for instance, JotForm does a script, and so it actually generates an actual page that gets generated inside your own page. It's just a better way to do it. And then when they hit save, then it gives them better feedback like that. And it can have multiple pages. I think Google Forms can do that now. But really, for the most part, we recommend Google Forms until you get to something that's super weird or complex, or payment. Payment is the big one. And JotForm takes all kinds of different types of payments, Authorize.net, PayPal, Stripe, and probably about 20 other forms of payment. So that's really where its strong point is. But it's going to do all the necessary security things for you. In fact, they're even qualified to do HIPAA stuff with medical deals. Oh, some new things that they've come out with, they call them cards, to where each pay, you come up to it and then basically, so it looks really good on a mobile phone. So you fill in the form, Al Yurok, and you click over, and it swipes over, and so each question is its own little thing that looks really cool. They have it to where they can link it up with a PDF, and then when you fill out the form, then you can basically connect it to a PDF to where it would it'll output a paper thing. Back in the day, that was a big thing for parishes, and we were doing mail merge stuff. It was really kind of wonky, but it kind of worked. Whereas this is all built in now, and it can basically, if somebody wants to fill it out online and then wants a paper copy as well, it'll output.
So I use it for that with our Totus Tuus registration. because so my wife runs Totus Tuus for our parish with the help of another gal, and so when they register online, which pretty much I all do, and then I download all the PDFs of all the individual registrations that way, and then we alphabetize them and put them into a binder.
Do you do the like where it would just output a PDF like generically, or are you doing it to where like probably within the last 6 months to a year they have like some super fancy?
I don't necessarily know what that means.
Okay, so probably not.
But so we didn't have Totus Tuus this past summer, so I didn't.
That's fair. So probably
last time I did was 20.
Yeah, because we used to do the same thing, but now basically the you can that just outputted a PDF.
Right.
This can be like very specific, like this field goes into this box, this goes into, and like you can upload your own PDF and like select.
Right. Yeah.
These are fields that I want people to do. So anyway. Right. Long story short, super cool. Pricing around any of those deals, and like we've used other form builders. We've used Wufoo Forms, we've used FormStack, we've used JotForm. JotForm seems to be kind of on the cutting edge with most things, and they've been around for quite some time. Their pricing is very reasonable. I think plans start around $20, maybe $30. If you're interested in that, kind of talk to us. A lot of times we can lower down that cost, and you can kind of go underneath our profile and share that with us. And
chat.
So
to go.
JotForm. There you go. Mm-hmm. So anyway, highly recommend JotForm. There are other tools that work out, just fine out there. But just realize one thing is that you're going to have some payment involved. You can add multiple users. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. But super flexible.
Yep.
Super functional
stuff.
And we highly recommend it. So Google Forms, still a good tool for those that need anything that doesn't involve payment. Usually works pretty well for it. But
there you go.
All right. And then thinking about, so another question, thinking about how to store and monetize videos that they can purchase a video series. Any suggestion of platform? So we've done this in a couple of different ways. So recently, CastingNets, who shares the building here with us here at Seleucers, they
at OEL.
Well, at OEL.
With Seleucers.
With Seleucers, that also happens to be at OEL. Thanks for the clarification. Little inside bit. There's a limited audience that would know the difference. Okay, so there you go. So Chris put together I don't know if Tony has done much with that, but I think mostly Chris has put together a catechism series. And so how that has worked is I think it's free for people, but they need to register. And then I think he might ask for a donation at some point during that series is kind of how that works. So, but he needs to lock it down with some kind of deal. So again, it's not locked and loaded and like completely secure, but it kind of gets to the point at least that he needs it. And they just do that inside of our own system. They have inside of Joomla, the core functionality, you can create registered sections where people have to log in. And Father Colta, you'd probably know about that with I think the priests have a registered section, if I remember Lincoln. Right. So a similar thing. And basically, if somebody registers, what Chris does is then he gives them a username and password to log in going forward. And then they can use that and access those videos. And then they take the YouTube videos and they make them, they set them to unlisted. Because otherwise, if you did them private, then people would have to log in with a Google account, which they may not have.
Right.
So if you do it unlisted, they can't be searched for on Google, but you can still embed them on your pages. So basically, like somebody could share the link. They could share that link to that YouTube video.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying it's not a complete lockdown system by any means.
Yeah.
As far as Vimeo? I was going to say, as far as like really actual solutions to that, to where people would pay and subscribe, I don't know. Vimeo could probably handle that. They do more specialized stuff like that. But I don't have any experience with that piece of functionality specifically. I wonder, depending on what the need is and what kind of the avenue is, like getting on board with other current streaming platforms.
I was thinking like Udemy.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Well, there's another one, Udemy and Skillshare.
Oh.
Udemy and Skillshare.
Here, I'll put them in the
those
video
are
form.
man. Thanks for reminding. Yeah, that's great. I've taken classes with that, and so that's again not but it's not religious based or anything like that. But
it's purely
this is how a lot of those courses are broken down, and they can have supplemental material. I've taken marketing classes and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember if one of them's like a all you can eat kind of thing.
Not Udemy. You typically pay
per
course,
class.
But
Maybe
I haven't used Skillshare.
Skillshare might be the one that's all you can eat. So that may be different. But Udemy would probably be the ticket.
Yeah.
More of a class, and they pay for it, and they have all the supplemental materials. They take care of all the hosting. I don't know what the fees are, or if they take a percentage or something like that. But based on not based on a creator perspective, but certainly based on a user perspective, I really highly recommend Udemy. It was very good. I think you guys we've taken some of our folks here have taken courses in the past with Udemy. Yeah. Or maybe you're probably even looking at one of those for.
Well, I use
Lori.
it. I hadn't yet, but that was where I was going to go. Yes. Yeah. We've done some courses for my sales team, my ad sales team, through Udemy. So it's pretty good. It's nice because other people rate the contributors, but for the purposes of what you'd be looking to do, sorry, we just saw we have another question. But the purpose is what you're saying, Father, to monetize videos. That's probably one of the best ways to do it, because you could always go with the general YouTube monetization, but I don't. You're just not going to generate a whole lot unless you end up getting hundreds and thousands or millions of views. That's a lot of times when people talk about monetizing YouTube, that's what they mean. But in your case, you're probably wanting to sell a series or charge for access to something. So these platforms would allow for that better. Or you can go with the route that Al told, and you have even more control because it's specific to whatever price you want. You're not at the mercy of the platform that you're using. So
yeah. My
There's
other
pros
thing,
and cons.
Where I was before you brought up your brilliant comment about Udemy, was I don't know what the connection is with Formed, right, and the Augustine Institute and how that works, and because I know some stuff out of Wichita, the Capens Men, they have their series there. I don't know, but they're a separate entity. I mean, it wasn't produced by the Augustine Institute, as far as I know. So at some degree, that's sold, the rights or licensed or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, depending on if something is made for mass use like that, then that makes sense. A lot of people are going to watch it. If it's Chris's situation,
right?
Then it's more of a limited audience. It's not necessarily for the masses, and it's paid access per episode. It could be paid more paid access per episode kind of thing. So, there you go.
Okay, I don't know if you want to. So we have another question from
you
Tony
can't stop
Brandt.
them coming in. Anything from the hourpower.com or Slutio?
No, that's a great idea. I should do anything in my power to stop us from answering Tony's question.
Question: how do I set up security to keep others from playing Spotify on my monitor? Oh, that's right, because they were playing Spotify in his office.
Yeah, when he walked into his office, they blasted it, which I did not condone.
That is,
but
funny.
I do find funny.
That is funny. At OEL, we have speakers. It was a bank, so they'd have a radio. There's things up in the ceiling, and so then we hooked up. Which I was so mad they got rid of the Chromecast audio. So for those that use a Chromecast, people like that. It's a thing. Well, they had just a straight audio version that had no display. It just would show up, and you could cast Google Music, YouTube, apparently Spotify, all to that, and it would show up. So now with Spotify, right, with Google Cast, why is it showing up on his monitor? Why is
he must have some casting. That TV must have a casting ability where you can cast right to it.
Oh, he needs to turn off.
Don't tell him.
Oh, never mind. I don't know how it's done.
Well, sorry, Tony. That's all we got.
That's all the time we got.
We don't have any questions through the job form yet either. So unless Father Coulter has anything else for us, some other visitor out there from the unknown.
There you go. There you
We're
go.
in good shape. So that's that.
That the hour power. I guess we kind of skimmed
Half
out
hour?
probably the last. Well, I know, but we started about 10 minutes late
Oh,
because
that's
I was
true.
trying to squeeze one more thing in, but not too tough.
Yeah. All
What
right.
can you do to
Well,
make it happen?
the lesson here is we need to send out the reminder.
I know.
That does the trick.
We already knew that, but
I know. Well, it's reinforced.
we had a lot of questions last time. I kind
Me
of
too.
back it off a little bit. So, well, thanks for joining us. If you have further questions, you may ask them at any time at seleuciosoftware.com/power, and we'll get to them at the next show. We already have the next one scheduled in November. Can you tell me what date that is? So we've been live for 25 minutes. There you go on the left side there. Boom.
Let's see. Gosh darn it. Hour of power. Next one is November 18th.
November 18th. We got wise and started setting the dates ahead of time, so we actually got it done. So there you go. So November 18th.
2 to 3 p.m. Central Time.
2 Central, and you can ask your questions. We'll queue them up there. We'll send out a couple reminders before next time. Other than that, we'll see you next time around.
Peace out.